Let's see. All right, I think we've announced ourselves. Next on the agenda is the board chair's report, and I skipped it last time. I'll be very brief this time. We are behind, but I do want to just give a short report on what I and we have been doing since we stepped into these roles, and it's been a great learning opportunity. It's been great to work with all the board members. Many of us are in new roles on committees. Many are in new roles on the board itself. And, you know, when you come into this role, you immediately sprint into a lot of things, including the session. So this will be a report. It'll be short, but I'm going to just sort of recount some of the opportunities that I and we have had. So we started off with the USBA USSA conference. Met with their board, Linda Hanks, Amber Schill, Lexi Cunningham, and their board of directors, many local superintendents and board members. We got to meet with the House Public Education Appropriations new chairs, Lincoln Fillmore, Susan Pulsifer, Norm Thurston, Representative Norm Thurston. We got to go meet with the new House Ed Standing Committee, leadership Candace Perucci and Dan Johnson. We got to meet with Governor Spencer Cox and Senior Advisor Brittany Cummins. Got to meet with Senate President Stuart Adams and his staff, the House leadership team, Speaker Brad Wilson, Mike Schultz, a Moss guy, Jefferson Moss, and Carrie Ann Lisenby. We got to go up and present the board's top 10 budget priorities and talk about our strategic plan. Personally, I got to meet on the Hill with old friends, including folks from Wasatch community, where my home base is, Superintendent Sweat, my old principal, Todd Johnson, friends from the UEA, Jay Blaine, Chase Clyde, friends from the State Charter School Board, Brian Bowles, Cindy Phillips. If that sounds more like name dropping than a report, it's intentional. I wanted to just point out the great, vast number of amazing people that are working in public ed, and that's just a few of them. But truly going up on the Hill during the session, one of the great joys of that is to see so many people that come together because they care about public education. And you may have noticed that some of them have different opinions, and those that I just read have different opinions. But I've greatly appreciated the opportunity to have conversations with all of them about what they're doing to serve students, to have discussion, debate, and then try to move forward together. And so behind those names are many thousands more. And I just want to report what a thrill it is in this position to have more exposure, a little bit more, into what those people are doing and what they're doing behind the scenes, the ideas they bring, and to have that opportunity to represent this board in going up and, again, presenting our priorities and seeking the funding that we need to serve these students. So I want to say thanks for that, and I think I'm glad Chair Norton brought up the Lincoln second inaugural. Every time I go to DC, I go to the Lincoln Memorial, take a right, and just stand there in front of that wall, and you read those words of malice toward none and charity for all. We do have differences of opinion, but it's a great opportunity to reason and discuss together and find ways to serve kids. So that's my report. And then I also wanted to just bring up a couple items to highlight some great work in our office that I didn't get to last month. One of these is for the year 2022, the Office of the State Auditor issued an unqualified opinion on the financial statements of USBE that included no findings for USDBE or USDB. I hope I'm saying that correct. Yes. You know, and I've said this before, and we want to recognize Deputy Superintendent Jones and Deborah Jacobson, our leadership team. You know, and something I said, I think on some prior occasion, their job is not to make the headlines. And so we don't often hear those headlines of wonderful success because they've done the things that keep things moving and keep the money going in the right places. And we're tremendously grateful. And that's a heck of an accomplishment to have no findings. So the second part is our own internal audit executive, Chief Executive Debbie Davis, was voted as the top auditor in the state last year by the Utah Association of Certified Public Accountants, awarded her the Outstanding CPA and Nonprofit and Government Awards. So let's give CA Davis, if you wouldn't mind, can you just stand up, Debbie? Okay. Thank you, and that's a bit delayed, but we so appreciate, we have, you know, everybody on this board knows how many issues we have to address. And to know that our staff are keeping everything in line and following procedure, and that they're experienced and have expertise beyond what we have is a great comfort. So we greatly appreciate them, and thank you. That's my report.